Hello, I'm Juan Davies, Chief Creative Officer at KCTM PBS SoCal, and we're partnering with the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. LA County set another record today on new coronavirus cases, and Governor Newsom has just announced a limited stay-at-home order for all of Southern California. Here's Mike Rowe with the latest.
The state has issued this new overnight order for counties that are in the most serious reopening tier, and that happens to include all of Southern California. It goes into effect this Saturday at 10 p.m., joining the curfew already set to go into effect in LA County. The reason for this is that the state sees activities that take place after 10 p.m., like going out for drinks or gathering with people, as being more likely to lead to the spread of COVID 19. That's because people let their guard down, are less likely to wear masks, and might have their inhibitions lowered for various reasons. The state health secretary, Dr. Mark Ghaly, said that they may need to restrict things even further if we don't get case numbers under control quickly. He said that there's a huge rise happening right now, especially caused by LA County's numbers sort of pushing the whole state up altogether, which is a bad sign. The order is currently set to last from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day starting this Saturday, but is scheduled to end, assuming numbers improve, on December 21st, just in time for the holidays.
Do we know why numbers are going up in LA, Mike?
It's a variety of reasons. I think that it comes down to everything from colder weather to people mixing more to more things being open recently, as well as people traveling.
Dozens of communities across the country were vying to be the home of the new U.S. Space Command, including Palmdale. But Robert says we got news that the city didn't make the cut.
Yeah, so the way it works is the official headquarters of the new U.S. Space Force is the Pentagon, just like all the other military branches. But a large part of the Space Force's work will be at U.S. Space Command. And Palmdale was one of the communities to make a pitch to land Spacecom. Palmdale's city manager said he'd pursued Spacecom with the same vigor that he chased Amazon. That's in part because the headquarters is estimated to be worth billions of dollars and more than 1,000 jobs to the area that gets it. Folks in Palmdale pointed to the region's rich history with air and spacecraft, including the space shuttle, high-speed reconnaissance aircraft, and other cool flying things. But today, the Department of the Air Force narrowed down the search to 6 candidates, and none are in California. Locations in New Mexico, Nebraska, Florida, Colorado, Texas, and Alabama were the states to make the cut.
And we're a week out from Thanksgiving, which is going to be a really different holiday this year. Air Talk producer Julia Murray is here with us to talk about how some families are negotiating or renegotiating the big American tradition.
Yes, so the CDC is now recommending people not travel over the Thanksgiving holiday. Dr. Dean Blumberg of UC Davis Children's Hospital seconded the recommendations. He emphasized that the safest way to get together is to adhere to CDC guidelines by keeping groups small, having separate households seated 6 feet apart, wearing masks at all times, and staying outside if possible. But many people are struggling with this. We heard from one listener who had a conflict with her daughter over whether COVID-19 precautions were overkill. One listener said he had been traveling for work and feels unsafe because he rarely sees any kind of mask enforcement in airports. Another listener said that their family planned to have everyone get a COVID test, but Dr. Blumberg pointed out that while that may help identify positive cases, it doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't incubating the virus. For many people, it's just a challenge without easy answers.
So with all these restrictions, what are you all going to do in this Thanksgiving holiday? Adrian?
I'm working on figuring out how to play board games with my parents over Zoom. I just have to teach them how to use Zoom. But that's my hope for Thanksgiving.
How about you, Julia or Mike?
We're gonna compare recipes over Zoom with family since we can't travel and see how that goes, if we can stay in frame.
Well, maybe I'll make a puzzle in Zoom, Adrian. I don't know if that will work out or not, but we'll give it a try. Thank you for this report and thank you for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow.